Good morning. Well, it's Friday, and we have a beautiful weekend planned. The birds are enjoying their peanut butter toast. So am I. Uh, got a lot of interesting feedback on the post regarding uh, our planning department's evolution. The use of contract planners for job-specific, project-specific tasks. Um, and That was part of my professional life for many years. So I know a little bit about how it works. First off, municipalities, county governments tended to hire me to do project management for large projects that were potentially controversial that that they wanted to see happen. They were able to, by hiring me, and I had no skin in the game, whether the project won or lost. Uh, it didn't affect my paycheck. But the fact that I could work through a complex project with many facets like rezonings and general plan amendments, annexations, complicated LAFCO processes that were not part of the normal skill set, knowledge set of typical planners, and at the same time, I could do the, if not write the EIR, manage its production. And these are big documents. These are documents that sometimes cost in the range of $100,000. And that's, of course, with all the backup studies and engineering that goes into preparing an environmental document, an impact report. And in that case, my job was, if I didn't write it, it was to make sure that the IR didn't get caught up in superfluous things and try to limit the range of study to the project. And oftentimes in large projects, you're dealing with complex issues, social issues. And they may not be required or even allowed in an environmental discussion. But of course, they are very much subject to these issues, whether the environmental document deals with them or not. So, my skill set background in CEQA gave me an edge in making sure that the document met the legal requirements, but also included information that addressed some of the issues that the public was concerned about. I did a good job, and for that reason, I didn't worry too much about work. And but there's a vast range of people who are providing this skill, this service to local governments, and some are hired as inside advocates, and I believe that I think the weakness in this kind of a situation is that one, it takes away from the capacity building opportunities that large projects provide for our own planning staff and organizations, county organizations. When you bring in an outsider, when that outsider leaves, all the knowledge and experience leaves with them. When one of the things I tried to do was involve our city staff, planning commission, and I worked directly with the planning commission and the city councils and boards of supervisors to bring these projects forward. And I worked with the administrative staff, the legal staff, to upgrade their skill sets too. You know, I was pretty well versed in general plan law, and it's pretty complex, maybe more complex than CEQA, the California Environmental Quality Act. And the connections between CEQA and the federal environmental law, NEPA, are often involved in large projects for various reasons. At any rate, what I tried to do in my capacity as a hired gun was to involve the community and the administrative and legislative staff people in the city council, in the city and the county, in the various facets of this project. That included law enforcement. You know, we're dealing with policies, trying to solve problems, and typically development projects is heavily slanted towards public works and the engineers, but there's other elements in the community that are impacted by a large development project. And public safety, law enforcement was one that I learned a lot, and I tried to bring those lessons into the law enforcement offices that I worked with. At any rate, what I'm saying here is that there's a benefit that can accrue to the county as a result of hiring a hired gun to manage a project. But there's also a great danger of this hired gun being able to screw that project around so that it's a slippery slide through the permit process. And in many cases, at least in my experience, I was hired to pretty much assure that that project was going to get approved. And I think that's one of the big concerns I have about how this project out at Triangle Road and Highway 140 is going to be processed. I hope to get out there and maybe take some pictures. Many of you don't probably know where this is. It's at, I can't remember, it was called the Acorn Inn. It was a restaurant in the old days on Highway 140, just at the summit going into Mid-Pines. And Triangle Road, of course, creates a triangle right there. And the big barn on the right-hand side, and the old restaurant there. And on the property itself, there's a fairly sizable old house. I've been to several parties at that house from the old owners. And there was a pond on it. Of course, the drought is probably not there anymore, but the meadow itself is got some really large old oak trees that managed to survive the gold rush. You know, many of our heritage trees, as you might call them, were cut down for the gold mines to power steam engines. And so around 1850, 1870, there were thousands of cords of wood that were taken down to power the steam engines that ran the mines. But so the trees that survived in the locations where they survived are unique. Of course, the Triangle Road intersection is a bit complicated right there. I used to live in that area and I drove that road many times. But it's going to be a very unique traffic problem they create out there. And of course, the neighborhood concerns are that as a campground, outdoor camping, campfires, people who aren't very familiar with living in wild places are going to be in a very sensitive wild place and sensitive to wildfire and of course wildlife and how many trees are going to be taken down in order to facilitate development. It's a big change, a huge camping project, and Marshall Long pointed out on the board that everybody who's seen that property has seen it as a tourist destination. That's his opinion, and I'm sure that's not the opinion of the neighbors who live out there. Could you imagine wanting to live next to a campground with hundreds or even thousands of people prowling around in your backyard? It's going to be a controversial project, and how this planning process, is being applied adds more controversy to it. If any of you out there have some opinions or want to express your concerns, let me know. I had the media, and I think it's healthy that we have a discussion about this, and I would like to promote that discussion in this forum. Have a great day. Enjoy this beautiful weekend, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye-bye.